Right now at noon, a special prosecutor picked to investigate a dog breeder over allegations of abuse. How federal agents are looking into that facility. Plus, President Trump signs an executive order banning transgender athletes in women's sports. This is News 3 Now at noon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Breiter. First at noon, an update on a dog breeder story we have been closely tracking. The La Crosse County District Attorney says they will investigate the beagle breeder Ridgeland Farms. For years, the Blue Mounds breeder has been accused of abusing the animals. This past October, a judge heard testimony against the breeder and ordered a special prosecutor to take on the case. The special prosecutor has the power to bring criminal charges against Ridgeland. It's currently unclear when that investigation could be completed. Attorneys representing animal rights group Dane for Dogs say they are encouraged by the appointment. They released a statement reading in part, quote, "We trust that DA Grunke will follow the evidence which clearly shows these dogs have endured unnecessary pain and suffering in violation of Wisconsin law." News 3 Now has been reaching out to Ridgeland for months about the accusations. While gathering video from the road, our cameras captured drug enforcement agents at the facility. The agency says they cannot tell us the reason for the visit, but the DEA does occasionally do routine visits to physicians or veterinarians. These can be for scheduled audits as well as follow-ups on tips. This program is aimed at preventing controlled drugs and listed chemicals from being diverted from legitimate sources. Ridgeland has not responded to our many requests for comment. Some sad news to report out of New Glarus this afternoon. The snowy owl, bringing people to the area since December, has died. The DNR confirmed the owl's death to News 3 Now. New Glarus police say the DNR has collected the bird's remains. A warden is now looking into how the bird died. They say they do not suspect foul play. A new federal executive order banning transgender women and girls from competing on women's and girls' sports teams. President Trump signed it on National Women and Girls in Sports Day. The executive order says schools which allow transgender athletes on such teams could lose federal funding. The administration says it is making good on a campaign promise.
We're defending the rights and safety and pride of the American people, including our great, great, great female athletes. What athletes you are, too.
We are talking about a very narrow band of elite athletes that they are using to stop a third grade trans girl from playing volleyball. And it makes no sense. It is cruel.
Schools that don't comply risk losing funding and legal action. It's unknown how many transgender athletes compete in women's sports. A bill calling for similar action passed the House shortly before Trump's inauguration. It is still sitting in the Senate. Wisconsin is taking action against an executive order banning gender-affirming care for people under the age of 19. Attorney General Josh Kaul is joining 14 other attorneys general in the lawsuit. The AGs called the order wrong on both the science and the law. It reads in part, quote, "Healthcare decisions should be made by patients, families, and doctors, not by a politician trying to use his power to restrict your freedoms. Gender-affirming care is essential, life-saving medical treatment that supports individuals in living as their authentic selves." A newly released transcript from an October 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Harris shows CBS did not doctor her answers. Then candidate Donald Trump had claimed the network altered the content of Harris's answers through editing, claiming it amounted to election interference. The interview was taped and CBS admitted it made cuts. The network says those edits were only for time constraints and did not materially change her answers. After pro-Trump advocacy groups filed a complaint with the FCC, the network handed over a complete, unedited transcript. The agency published the transcript, and CBS also shared it on its own website. 60 Minutes also invited then-candidate Trump to be interviewed. However, he declined. Freezing rain overnight made for slippery roads. Now we're left with some breezy conditions. First Floor meteorologist Blaze Keller is braving the elements out on the weather patio. Hi, Blaze.
Hello. Yeah, you might hear the wind kind of moving through our tower over behind me. It is going to be a breezy day, but we are already looking ahead to the weekend. We've gone ahead and issued an alert day for your Saturday mainly, but it's going to be all throughout the day that we are anticipating this upcoming snow. But most of central and northern Wisconsin is going to be taking the brunt of this next winter storm. In fact, a winter storm watch has been issued for all those counties in the blue there, including Juneau and Adams County, covered by us here at News 3 Now. Nobody else is in any sort of winter weather advisory or watch or warning at the moment, but stay with News 3 Now. We will keep you updated. You can see both the European model and the GFS model, because this is a little further out, is anticipating those higher accumulations further to the north based on where they're kind of bringing this system. The GFS also really has this system further to our south, so southern Wisconsin's probably going to miss out on a lot of that snow, but at least the GFS for now is picking up anywhere between 2 to maybe 6 inches of snow in parts of central and northern Wisconsin. That's also what the winter storm watch is anticipating ahead of this snow that accumulating upwards of maybe 6 to 8 inches in some isolated spots. But today and Friday we are going to be quiet. It is going to be windy. You can hear it there. In the 30s underneath clear to mostly clear conditions. The last of those slick spots from the freezing rain overnight should melt here as we go further into your afternoon. We are going to track out the windy conditions and then revisit the weekend system in the full forecast.
All right, Blaze, we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you. Well, we officially have an update this afternoon from our Day of Warmth telethon. Last night, News 3 Now was able to raise more than $43,000 for the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund. The program provides emergency heating assistance to those who need it most. We want to thank everyone who helped make this possible, but the donations aren't done quite yet. Culver's locations around the state will donate 10% of today's proceeds to the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund. Participating locations can be found on channel3000.com. News 3 Now investigates a rare government inspection of one of the state's biggest grocery chains, Roundy's. State regulators found Pick and Save and Metro Market locations were overcharging customers. A statewide inspection found the weights for the items, including pre-packed salads, fruit, meals, and sandwiches, were, quote, unreasonably inaccurate, end quote. In all, records show more than 1,200 violations.
I started to go to Metro Market because I thought their prices were less than other places around. And to hear that, it's disappointing and it's a little frustrating.
Tonight on News 3 Now at 6, Chris Stanford reveals what state inspectors uncovered. See what happens when he tries to get answers from Roundy's. Still ahead for us this afternoon, how much tech giant Google is scaling back on diversity hiring targets, plus why the U.S. Postal Service is changing its mind on an order to suspend incoming shipments from China.
Google is cutting some of its diversity hiring targets. The tech giant joins a growing number of American companies that have abandoned or scaled back their diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. The move was outlined in an email sent to Google employees. It follows an executive order issued by President Trump that was intended in part to pressure government contractors to end their DEI efforts. The U.S. Postal Service halted an order to suspend incoming shipments from China. A day after announcing the suspension in the wake of President Trump's tariffs on China, the Postal Service said in an online update that it would continue accepting all international inbound mail and packages from China and Hong Kong posts. And police are working to crack the case after a big egg heist in Pennsylvania. Some 100,000 eggs were plucked off the back of a trailer. The whodunit comes as egg prices have surged because of bird flu. The Agriculture Department predicts egg prices are going to soar another 20% this year. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Chanel Call.
And here's the stock report at the noon hour. The Dow is down 100 points, NASDAQ up 63, and the S&P 500 up 10. We have today's farm numbers straight ahead, and Blaze returns with the first warn forecast. Then later on Live at 4, Marquette Law School poll director Charles Franklin on an upcoming poll. Pam Bianchi is out of the radio barn attending the Wisconsin Corn and Soybean Expo. So here are your farm numbers. Well, it's Thursday, folks, which means meteorologist Blaze Keller has a little buddy helping him with the first warn forecast. Blaze, who's that?
This is little Floral,
Oh.
and we're going to talk more about her. I'm going to talk a little bit more calmly this time because I think she's a little bit camera shy. So we do have clear and windy conditions today. Friday, the clouds are going to return, Floral and folks at home. And then as we go into the weekend, we've got that next system. We talked about that, and we'll touch on it again. What's happening on future track, the reason why we're going to be so windy today is because that low pressure system to our north, its change in pressure is occurring really right overhead. And so that's why we have these breezy conditions. High pressure moves in and keeps us quiet as we go overnight into Friday. So we're not going to be as windy tomorrow. And then those clouds are going to increase. As that high pressure system moves off towards the east, it's going to make way for our next system. This is the one that we have the alert day for as we go into your Saturday, mainly Saturday night into Sunday, but that snow is pretty much going to be all day as this system moves on through. We do have wind advisories for a lot of the News 3 Now coverage area, especially north of Dane County. Anybody in the brown there, you're underneath that wind advisory through later tonight, as gusts could be anywhere between 45 to maybe 50 miles per hour in some isolated spots. She's very, very calm, and we're going to meet more about her and talk about her brother here in just a moment. These winds are going to be gusting upwards of 45 miles per hour as we go throughout the afternoon. Not everyone could experience those 45 mile per hour wind gusts, especially closer to Lake Michigan and further north and east. That's where those winds are going to be probably the most breezy because you're closer to that center of low pressure. And then let's retouch that system that moves in as we go into the weekend. Right now, just a handful of counties are underneath that winter storm watch. That includes Juneau and Adams County for now. But this system is going to be moving pretty much along I-90 as we go into not only Friday night, but Saturday into Saturday night. Both the European and our GFS models pretty much show a similar picture. The darker blues are off to our north, and that's where we're going to see more of that accumulating snow. But there's that break right here, kind of along the Wisconsin-Illinois border. That's because both of these systems are kind of taking this green path here. They're not really close. We want that blue path. More of that moisture moves northwards. We get more of that heavier snow here across central and southern Wisconsin. What we're looking at is most of that heavier snow is probably going to be falling where we found that winter storm watch. Further north, that's where we could see anywhere between 4 to maybe 6, even isolated spots of 8 inches of snow by the time we go into Sunday. So if you're not a fan of the snow, enjoy the quiet conditions while they're here. It is going to be breezy. We'll do a little bit of melting today. There may still be some snow on the ground and some slick spots out there. But there is a look at your 10-day forecast. Temperatures staying pretty seasonal through at least Monday. Then with that snow on Saturday, we kind of reinforce the cooler air that moves in Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. Maybe some isolated flurries as well, but it does look like at least overnight lows will go back to being below. Oh, hi, Floral. Back below the double digits into those single digits as we go into the start of next week.
That was like your most gentle forecast ever. Makes us feel good. All right, Blaze, we'll see you and the puppy in just a little bit, along with her brother. Well, in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, Howard turns one of his favorite deli sandwiches into a super game day dip.
With the big game just days away, we want to make sure you're armed with everything you need. That way, when it comes to the food, there'll be plenty to share about. And let me tell you, once everyone digs into the dip we're whipping up today, they will. The first thing we do is mix together a package of softened cream cheese, some sour cream, a can of sauerkraut that we've drained and chopped, and some chopped up corned beef. And that can be leftover or from the deli. Then we add some shredded Swiss, a bit of diced onion, and a squirt each of ketchup and spicy mustard. Once everything's mixed, we spoon it into a baking dish, smooth it out, and pop it in the oven. The nice thing about this is that you can make it ahead and bake it off right before the game. You'll know it's done when it's bubbling hot and everyone gathers around. And they will, because it has all the flavors of our favorite deli sandwich when it's teamed up with some rye bread. I really hope you'll get the recipe for our baked Reuben dip so you'll be ready with a game day winner. It might be a good idea to print out a few extra copies of the recipe because everyone's going to be asking for it. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a winning way for you to say, ooh, it's so good. It's very good.
When we come back at noon, we'll meet our pets of the week from the Dane County Humane Society. Well, it is time for Potentially Yours here on a Thursday afternoon. Lisa Bernard from the Dane County Humane Society is here, not with just one, but two special guests. Hi, Lisa.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, we got a couple of cuddle puppies with us.
They're
tuckered out.
Yes, they are.
They are, and that's what happens with puppies. They play hard and sleep harder.
In the lobby, yeah.
Yeah. So they were running around in the lobby, you know, exploring, jumping around, jumping on people, and now they're just like, all right, I think I need a nap.
They love the love, that's for sure.
Yes.
She
And you've got
especially.
Floral. This is,
That's Gatsby.
and they are 2 months. Okay.
Believed to be terrier mixes. They
Okay.
just arrived from Alabama yesterday morning.
So
Asleep.
fresh to Wisconsin.
Fresh to Wisconsin.
That's probably why they're so tuckered out.
They probably are, yeah. I mean, I would have slept, but it was probably a little noisy at times.
So soft, too.
So soft, so cute, still have lots to learn as puppies. But I'm also impressed they're not very mouthy.
Okay.
They're not teething a ton yet, so, and they might not, you know.
You never know.
Each one is different. So, but they're so playful and then super snuggly. Like, I'm just going to take a nap eventually with this one.
Yes.
I love it. So
yeah.
what kind of family do you think?
I think anyone who wants to take on puppy training, because
Okay.
it's a lot more than just your regular dog training. They've got to learn all the basics, you know, where not to go to the bathroom,
Yep.
going outside.
They've been good.
They've been good. And then, you know, what not to chew on, stuff like that.
Jesus,
what
Lee.
are appropriate areas to go to, what toys are appropriate to play with. But it's so much fun also building that bond with them as you're working on things.
Yeah.
Well, and they're still young enough, too, that you have the chance to be able to adapt them to your home, which
Yes.
is kind of special, too.
Yes.
Have they been introduced to other animals like cats or dogs or even smaller people? Like, do they do well? Given that they're puppies, I'm assuming yes?
For puppies, I think it's easier.
Okay.
When you're transitioning for like people and younger kids and then other animals, I'm sure that if they saw a cat, they'd be like, what are you?
Want to play?
You're really hairy or
Oh my
fuzzy or
gosh.
whatever. So, but we don't do those types of introductions at Dane
This-
County Humane Society just because it could be stressful
Yeah.
for animals. But
She's asleep.
I
love
know, this is so cute.
I could take a nap.
I know,
I
seriously.
love when it's my days off, kind of unrelated, but when my puppy sleeps with me, I'm out.
There's just something
No.
about it.
Yeah. And these two need love. They
yes,
need a home.
They do, and they're looking for separate homes.
Okay.
So we don't adopt siblings out together.
Okay.
And just watch out for our website when they become available because they're not on there just yet.
All right, there you go.
So a little debut here.
Oh, look at that.
So,
That's all you need there on a Thursday
Yes.
afternoon.
and I have to tell you too, Gatsby really likes belly rubs.
Okay.
Oh, all right. All right, Lisa, thank you so much for introducing us. We're going to find them some forever homes.
Yes.
Well, hey, on Super Bowl Sunday, stop by Beer Rock in Madison for their 7th annual Puppy Bowl Watch Party. It benefits Dane County Humane Society. The tailgate kicks off at noon with the pregame show, followed by Animal Planet's Puppy Bowl being shown on the projection screen. Shortly before kickoff, the TV will switch to the Super Bowl. Beer Rock will donate 10% of their sales from Sunday's event to DCHS. Hey, we have a positive update on last week's pet. Brownie the puppy has been adopted. We love to hear it.
Yes.
If you are interested in adopting Floral, Gatsby, or checking out other animals at Dane County Humane Society, just go to giveshelter.org. And Blaze is here with that final check of the forecast.
Well, we do have some winter weather on the way. It looks like we're looking at mainly Saturday night for most of southern Wisconsin and central Wisconsin. We do have a winter storm watch out for just a few counties that we cover. There's a look at what probably is going to happen Friday into Saturday. Stay with News 3 Now. We will keep you updated. Until then, quiet today, sunny. It's going to be breezy, especially into the afternoon, but a little bit of melting. Get some of those last slick spots out of here probably within the next hour. So a little bit cooler Friday, snow on Saturday, and then some cooler temperatures as we sleep. Oh my gosh.
That's a big
I
old mood
love
right
it.
there.
Oh my gosh. And he's about to fall asleep
Yep.
too. These little puppies. Then we go quiet next week with maybe some flurries as we go into the middle of next week.
Be careful with these outside. They might blow away on your way to the car, Lisa. It's so
I
windy
will
outside.
volunteer to carry both of them securely in my arms.
Thanks for joining us today at noon.